It was supposed to be a standard keynote speech on media ethics. The date was January 30th, 2025. The location was the ballroom of the Beverly Wilshire Hotel. 200 of the most powerful executives in Hollywood were seated expecting the usual pleasantries from the Queen of Talk herself, Oprah Winfrey. But what happened next didn't just silence the room. It threatened to tear down the entire media empire built by Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. For 4 years, the world has argued over what really happened during that infamous 2021 interview. You know, the interview that accused the royal family of racism, cruelty, and neglect. For 4 years, Oprah stood by it as her truth. But on that stage in 2025, she didn't just backtrack, she detonated the narrative. Oprah looked the audience in the eye and admitted the unthinkable, "I was deceived." She revealed that the interview wasn't a conversation, it was a performance that was scripted, rehearsed, and fueled by falsified documents that have now been exposed by forensic AI analysis. From fake journal entries to edited tearful breakdowns, the evidence of manipulation is undeniable. And the apology she issued to Princess Catherine, it changes everything. Buckle up because we are about to walk through the most explosive confession in Hollywood history. The shield protecting the Sussexes is gone, and what was hiding behind it is darker than anyone imagined. Let's rewind to March 2021. We all remember sitting in front of our TVs watching Oprah nod sympathetically as Meghan dropped bombshell after bombshell. It felt raw. It felt spontaneous. We were told this was an unscripted, no-holds-barred conversation where nothing was off-limits. According to Oprah's new admission, that was the first lie. Speaking to that hushed room at the Global Media Leadership Summit, Oprah's tone shifted from professional to deeply somber. She confessed, "If I could go back, I would never have aired that interview." Why? Because the dynamic we saw on screen was a fabrication. Oprah revealed that Meghan's team had demanded and received extensive editorial control over the final cut. This wasn't journalism. It was a PR campaign disguised as a confessional. They didn't just know the questions in advance, they curated the answers. Oprah admitted that entire segments were removed because Meghan felt they made her look too aggressive, while other moments were reshot to maximize emotional impact. When Oprah said, "That's not journalism, that's a press release," she wasn't just critiquing Meghan. She was admitting to her own complicity in a massive deception. The narrative was simple. The palace was a cold, racist institution, and Meghan was the innocent bird attempting to fly free. But Oprah now says she was blinded by the story she wanted to tell, ignoring the red flags waving right in front of her face. She described the interview as choreographed to inflict maximum damage. Imagine the betrayal. Millions of people defended that interview as gospel truth. And now, the architect of that interview admits she was played. But if you think the scripting was bad, wait until you hear what she had to say about the specific lies told about the future Queen of England. One of the most viral moments of the 2021 broadcast was the cry debate. For months, the tabloids reported that Meghan had made Catherine cry before the wedding. In the interview, Meghan flipped the script, famously telling Oprah, "No, the reverse happened. She made me cry." It was the moment that turned the internet against the Princess of Wales. Catherine was painted as a villain, a mean girl who bullied the newcomer. Oprah allowed that statement to air without a shred of verification. At the 2025 summit, the room reportedly gasped when Oprah publicly apologized to Princess Catherine. She admitted, "Catherine did not deserve that portrayal, and I should have done more to verify it. Instead, I gave Meghan the stage unchecked." This admission confirms what palace insiders have whispered for years. The damage done to Catherine wasn't just PR, it was personal and psychological. Reports from 2021 noted that the Princess of Wales was visibly shaken during rehearsals for Prince Philip's funeral, a direct result of the global hate campaign fueled by that interview. Oprah acknowledged that this segment was emotionally manipulative, designed to isolate Catherine while she was bound by the royal motto, "Never complain, never explain." Catherine couldn't fight back. She couldn't go on a talk show. She had to take the hits in silence. Oprah now realizes that silence wasn't guilt, it was stoicism. But while Catherine was maintaining her dignity, Meghan's team was apparently busy creating physical evidence to back up their claims. And this is where the story shifts from media manipulation to potential fraud. This is the part that has lawyers circling. It's one thing to exaggerate a story, it's another thing entirely to forge evidence. During the summit, Oprah didn't just speak in generalities. She brought receipts literally. She referenced an audit conducted by the Geneva Integrity Lab and Orion Trace independent firms hired to review the documents Meghan submitted to producers to prove her claims. Remember the emails, the text messages, the handwritten journals detailing her mental health crisis? Oprah now claims they were compromised. One of the key pieces of evidence shown to producers was a journal entry from January 2019 where Meghan supposedly wrote about her isolation. Forensic layering analysis conducted in 2024 revealed a discrepancy that is almost impossible to explain away. The ink type used in that specific note was from a pen cartridge that wasn't manufactured until mid-2021. Let that sink in. A note supposedly written in 2019, written with ink that didn't exist until 2 years later. It gets worse. Oprah detailed an email Meghan claimed she sent to a senior royal aide begging for help. The AI audit flagged the file header. The email client version listed in the metadata wasn't released until April 2020, more than a year after the email was supposedly sent. The server bounce record was traced not to a royal server, but to a commercial email simulator often used by PR firms to create mock-up chains. And the most heartbreaking element, the footage of Meghan crying in a hallway, which she claimed was filmed at a royal residence during her darkest moments. Enhanced A. Iframe analysis spotted a background detail that exposes the whole scene, a specific model of a baby monitor visible for a split second. That model was released in 2022. Oprah's voice reportedly broke when she said, "The tears may have been real, but the setting, the context, the timestamp, they were engineered." This wasn't just a woman sharing her pain. According to this new data, it was a production. A scene filmed years later to fit a narrative constructed for Netflix and CBS. But why go to such lengths? Why fabricate a narrative if the truth was compelling enough? Oprah's next revelation suggests that Meghan's history of manufacturing reality didn't start with the royals. It started years earlier in the dark corners of high society Hollywood. For years, there have been whispers, rumors on blind item blogs about how a relatively unknown actress with a thin resume managed to land a lead role in Suits and infiltrate the highest circles of global philanthropy. Until now, Oprah stayed silent on these rumors. But at the summit, she ripped the bandage off. Oprah introduced a disturbing element to her confession, her prior knowledge of Meghan's alleged connections to the circle of Jeffrey Epstein. Now, we have to be careful here, but we are reporting strictly on what Oprah allegedly disclosed at this summit. She stated, "Back in 2013, I was warned by multiple sources." She spoke of overlaps between Meghan's attendance at private salons in Los Angeles and Manhattan and events hosted by Epstein's associates. The timeline Oprah laid out is damning. Before 2010, Meghan was struggling a briefcase girl on Deal or No Deal, landing minor one-episode roles. Then she was spotted at exclusive parties linked to Epstein's network. Oprah mentioned photos surfacing in 2024, showing Meghan at a table with associates linked to the production of Suits. The casting notes for Suits allegedly listed 3 top contenders for the role of Rachel Zane. Meghan's name wasn't on that list. Oprah cited leaked emails suggesting her audition was highly recommended by investors with ties to Epstein's hedge fund. She got the role after a second round of last-minute screen tests. It felt like someone pulled strings. Oprah quoted a casting assistant as saying, "This paints a picture of a career that wasn't built on organic talent, but on high-level, shadowy networking." Oprah recalled a private conversation from 2015 where Meghan allegedly told her that Epstein understood talent and vision better than anyone. At the time, Oprah brushed it off. Now, looking back at the fast-tracked nature of Meghan's rise, she sees it differently. This reframes the entire royal exit. Was it really about escaping racism, or was the royal family simply the next rung on a ladder that Meghan had been climbing by any means necessary? And where was Prince Harry in all of this? If Meghan was the director of this production, Harry was the unsuspecting lead actor. The tragedy of Prince Harry, according to Oprah's new perspective, is that he wasn't fully in on the con. She described him during the 2021 interview as emotionally absent, yet fiercely loyal. But looking back, she realized his behavior was strange. "He didn't question, he confirmed," Oprah said. She noted that Harry seemed to have memorized bullet points. Whenever the conversation veered off script, he would look to Meghan for visual cues. Sources close to the production now confirm that Harry's answers were coordinated in advance, often mirroring language Meghan had drafted for him. The most shocking detail, Harry reportedly wasn't shown the final edited version of the interview before it aired. He was assured by Meghan that the core truth was preserved. He didn't know about the misleading headlines or the specific editing choices that would demonize his family until the world saw them. Insiders describe Harry today as a man adrift. He burned his bridges based on a narrative that he was fed. He defended his wife against racism claims that Oprah now says were crafted without substance. Remember the royal racist allegation, the claim that someone worried about Archie's skin color? Oprah admitted that when they pressed Meghan for a name off camera, she became vague. "I now believe that vagueness was intentional," Oprah said. "It prevented anyone from verifying the story." Harry was left holding the bag, forced to defend a ghostly accusation that destroyed his relationship with his father and brother. But while Harry and Meghan were playing checkers, the palace was playing chess. They knew the truth the whole time. While the Sussexes were doing interviews, writing memoirs, and filming documentaries, Buckingham Palace remained silent. But they weren't inactive. Oprah's revelations were immediately followed by the leak of a palace dossier titled Project Helix. This document, compiled between 2021 and 2023, is essentially the royal family's receipt book. They tracked every claim Meghan made and cross-referenced it with security logs, diaries, and email archives. Meghan claimed she was denied access to Queen Elizabeth in March 2019. The logs, they show she had tea with the Queen privately that very week. Meghan claimed she was shunned at a 2018 reception. The guest list, it places her seated next to Princess Anne and high-ranking diplomats in a position of honor. Meghan claimed she went to HR for mental health support and was turned away. The palace records. They show that the HR request she described didn't match any internal protocol. It sounded like corporate Americans speak, not royal procedure. Furthermore, records show the royal household did offer professional counseling as early as 2019, which Meghan allegedly declined. Why didn't they release this earlier? A senior courtier told The Times, because at that time, Meghan had weaponized victimhood. Any rebuttal would have been twisted as cruelty. They waited for the Sussexes to overplay their hand. And now with Oprah herself debunking the narrative, the palace doesn't need to say a word. Princess Anne's reaction to the summit was reportedly just 2 words: finally, accountability. King Charles has authorized the archiving of these documents, ready to be released, not as a drama, but as a historical record. The gray suits won. They let the truth breathe. But for Harry and Meghan, the oxygen is running out. The fallout from this isn't just social, it's financial. The Sussex empire was built on one commodity: their truth. If their truth is exposed as a lie, the product is worthless. Oprah's confession has triggered a chain reaction in the corporate world. Netflix, Spotify, and Penguin Random House are reportedly conducting internal reviews. We already saw the collapse of the Spotify deal, with an executive calling them grifters. Now that label looks legally actionable. Legal analysts are suggesting that if producers were misled by falsified documents like the fake journals or the edited tapes, it could fall under fraudulent misrepresentation. We are talking about potential lawsuits to claw back millions of dollars. One publishing executive admitted, "Had we known the source material might be staged, we would never have greenlit the memoir." The public has turned too. Polling data from February 2025 shows 61% of Americans feel misled by the 2021 interview. The victim narrative has expired. The Freedom Flight is now looking like a con job. Harry and Meghan are reportedly isolated in Montecito. No statements, no claps back, just silence. Leaked internal memos from their team show panic not over the truth, but over the strategy. They are discussing wardrobe continuity and influencer activation rather than addressing the factual inaccuracies. It's the behavior of a brand in crisis, not a family in pain. Oprah's confession didn't stop at general regrets. She started naming names. For years, we assumed Meghan was acting alone, or perhaps just with Harry. But Oprah revealed that the deception was industrialized. She identified a shadow team of fixers and strategists who allegedly engineered the documents and the narrative. She specifically pointed to 3 individuals. First, a digital strategist formerly linked to Cara Delevingne, who Oprah claims commissioned the metadata alteration work. Second, Jared Millstone, a freelance image consultant known for narrative framing in Netflix docudramas. And third, a private assistant whose identity remains sealed, but whose email alias was traced to the transfer of the manipulated folders to CBS producers. These weren't just loyal friends. They were operatives. Oprah noted that two of these individuals have recently been subpoenaed in unrelated class action lawsuits involving celebrity brand deception in California. This suggests a pattern of behavior, a fake-it-till-you-make-it strategy, applied not just to Instagram, but to international diplomacy. This changes the scope of the scandal. It means the 2021 interview wasn't just a conversation between friends. It was a coordinated intelligence operation designed to mislead the public with paid professionals pulling the levers behind the scenes. While Oprah's apology has stunned Hollywood, the reaction from Windsor Castle has been even more telling, specifically from the future king. While King Charles has reportedly authorized the quiet release of the Project Helix files to correct the record, Prince William's stance is far less forgiving. During a closed-door engagement at Windsor, when asked by a military officer if he would welcome his brother back under these new circumstances, the Prince of Wales allegedly delivered a line that is already shaking the foundations of Montecito. There are terms William is reported to have said, and one of them is accountability. Sources say William is furious not just about the lies, but about the specific hypocrisy regarding security. One of the most damaging claims Meghan made was that she begged for public support and security, but was denied. However, the leaked palace logs referenced by Oprah tell a different story. They document a security meeting where Meghan specifically asked that no press statements be issued on her behalf regarding her mental health, contradicting her claim that she was silenced. She wasn't silenced. She requested silence, then blamed the palace for complying. Now the pressure is mounting on Oprah to do the one thing that could settle this forever: release the unedited tapes. Oprah admitted that the broadcast we saw was heavily curated. There are reportedly 90 minutes of footage left on the cutting room floor footage that Meghan's team fought to suppress. Critics are now demanding those raw files be released. What did Meghan say that was considered too contradictory to air? What did Harry say that had to be cut? If those tapes are released, insiders warn it won't just be the end of their legend, it will be the final nail in the coffin of their credibility. Oprah has the tapes. The world is watching. And for the first time in 4 years, the Sussexes are the ones who are afraid of the truth coming out. As Oprah left the stage that night, the applause was muted. It wasn't a celebration, it was a reckoning. She ended her speech with a warning to her own industry. When we elevate emotion over evidence, we enable false icons. We are witnessing the end of a modern legend. For 4 years, we were told that questioning Meghan Markle was hateful. We were told that demanding evidence was wrong. But now, the very person who launched their global platform has pulled the rug out from under them. The 2021 interview changed history. It damaged the monarchy, it influenced elections, and it divided families. Now we have to ask ourselves, was any of it real? The truth has finally been exposed not by a tabloid, but by the facilitator herself. The Sussexes wanted to be global leaders of misinformation battles. Ironically, they have become the ultimate case study in it. The shield is gone, the script is shredded, and for Harry and Meghan, the show might finally be over. Thanks for watching. If you think the palace should release the full Project Helix files, hit that like button. And don't forget to subscribe for more updates as this story unfolds.